You're watching Project 380 and this is Back to Basics. On this episode of Back to Basics, we've got Clifford, the big red NC in the garage, and we're going to be replacing the rear discs and pads. The procedure of replacing the rear discs and pads on your NC is pretty simple, but a little bit more complicated and involved than the front brakes. As on the rear, we've obviously got the handbrake. To do this job, you're going to need a trolley jack and some axle stands, your discs and pads, some brake cleaner and a rag, some copper slip, slider grease and brake grease, a breaker bar and a torque wrench with your wheel sockets, a slimline 17 spanner and a 12mm spanner, possibly a hammer, a hook or tie wraps to keep that caliper out of the way, a torque wrench and a ratchet with a 12mm and a 14mm socket, some form of brake rewind tool, it is right-handed rewind, a file, a wire brush, and potentially a wire wheel for the drill, and a bit of Scotch-Brite. So let's get the car prepared and the rear wheels jacked up and off the floor. We're first off going to open the bonnet, remove the cap for the brake reservoir and put that back on upside down, and then loosen all 5 wheel nuts. Chock the front wheel so that doesn't roll anywhere, and then raise the car off the floor and place it on axle stands. I like to put the axle stands on a brace that goes from the chassis to the subframe, right where it bolts into the subframe. This is a pretty strong place here, and I leave the jack underneath for safety. With the rear end of the car safely up in the air, we can now take the handbrake off and remove the wheels. I then place the wheel underneath where the sill is. If the car does drop for whatever reason, I'd rather have damaged wheels than broken legs. Now we want to remove the caliper from the carrier, and that's held on with 2 bolts, one up the top and one down the bottom. That is a 12mm hex on the back and a slim 17 on the slider. Then we can remove the caliper from the pads and the carrier. With the caliper off, we want to inspect it for corrosion, so the piston doesn't look too bad. And we want to inspect the boot. We're looking at the condition of this rubber boot here. We want to check whether it's split or cracked, and whether it's intact. This boot really needs changing. As you can see, it is split right here and the piston has started to corrode. So ideally, this caliper needs to be changed. Before we remove any other brake component, ignoring the damage on the caliper for now, we want to see whether that caliper will wind back. And to do that, we want a right-handed piston wind back tool with the correct end on it that matches up to the caliper. So I'm going to slide that into the caliper, locate the tabs into the piston, take up the slack, and then start winding the piston back. It will stop when the piston is all the way back, and then we can remove our wind back tool. Now we know this piston moves back freely, we can hang that out of the way and remove the carrier from the hub. That is just held on with 2 14mm bolts, one up the top and one down the bottom. Now we can remove our brake disc, but this one is a little bit stuck. We know we're not going to be reusing this, we are changing them, so a gentle tap with a hammer will do. This hub surface is pretty corroded, so we want to clean that up ready for the new disc. I'm going to give it a little tickle with a wire brush. A little bit of copper grease will stop that new brake disc sticking. You don't need to put a lot on. I mainly stick to the centre of the wheel hub. Now we're going to grab our new brake disc. We're going to clean it up with some brake cleaner and a rag, both sides, and install it onto the hub. Now for the carrier and pad assembly, we're going to remove the old pads. Now we're going to remove the sliders, keep the rubber boot in the carrier, These sliders are actually in really good condition. They've been well maintained, and as you can see, covered in grease. We're going to clean the old grease off, clean it up with a bit of Scotch-Brite, and apply some new slider grease. Install that back into the carrier. Make sure that rubber boot is seated on the slider nicely, and repeat for the other slider. Both sliders nice and free moving now. We want to clean up the pad shims, so I've got a tiny wire brush. I'm going to get in there and clean it all up until they are nice and clean. Then you could carefully remove those from the carrier. Then inspect the areas where those shims sit. Wire brush off any loose debris. But in some cases you may need to get a file in there and make it nice and smooth. Once that is nice, clean and smooth, we can replace those shims. They simply snap into place, and put a little bit of brake grease on those shims. I'm going to smear that round with my little finger and wipe off any excess. And then I like to install the pads in the carrier while it's off the car, as I find it a little bit easier. But on the Mark III they're a little bit tricky, as the pad shims are also springs, which just stop the pads from rattling about. Make sure they're nice and free moving in the carrier, and install the back one. On the left hand side of the car, on the inside pad, usually there's an audible wear sensor, but on the right hand side there isn't one. But the pads and the pad carrier are now ready to be reinstalled onto the car. Then we're going to torque that down to 65 Newton meters. And place the caliper back on. Using the fin 17 and a 12mm spanner, tighten them back up and then torque that down to 25 Newton meters. With that all on, we could come and clean up any oil or brake grease we've got on the disc, and then go inside the car, pump that brake pedal till it goes hard, and pull on the handbrake. Then we could check our fluid level. That is bang on the maximum. A bit black, so that may need changing. And then put the cap back on the reservoir. Then the wheel is ready to go back on the car. With the car still in the air, we're going to torque that wheel down anywhere between 88 and 118 Newton meters. I do these to 110 in a crisscross pattern. Torquing these up with the wheel off the ground is just confirming that the handbrake is working. Of course, at this point you would then lower the car back down to the floor, and that is job done. But I'm leaving it on axle stands for now, and I'm going to go order some rear calipers. But other than a perished caliper, that is job done. So that was how to install some discs and pads on the rear of your NC. If you learned anything from this video, leave it in the comments down below. As per usual, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one, where I'm probably going to be installing calipers.